When people are released from jail, they have the responsibility to appear in court. But some of these people choose to go on the run.
They go back home to mommy.
And that is when these guys come into the picture. So sit back and listen to the Off the Hook podcast with Chad and Rob.
Very fine people on both sides.
These are real stories, but the names have been changed.
What's going on, guys? I'm Rob.
I'm Chad. What's up?
What's happening with you, Chad, man? How's your weekend?
It's good. I spent most of it on my daughter's birthday stuff.
Oh,
doing
yeah.
zip lines with her and a bunch of other little girls going through the trees.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun.
How was that? How was that with having all them damn girls around?
I was ready to get away by the end of the day.
You need some more testosterone
yeah,
by the
I
end
need
of
some
the
more
day.
testosterone. We had a men's club thing at the clubhouse, so it had like cars and beer and food.
That's good. Oh, cars, beer, and food. That's always a good
I got back to my happy place.
All right. Man, I've just been working in the yard, pressure washing, getting all the pollen off and redoing the flower beds and all that good stuff. That's nothing exciting, but it's getting done. I did finally get in my pool. Yeah. It was nice. So, man, last week we had Alex Price on the show.
Yeah, Mr. Price was interesting to interview. He had a good time too. He had emailed me and talked about how he really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
we didn't do the typical questions with him. Apparently, I didn't know. It's just what we do.
I mean,
I was like, we're gonna skip into it because we know exactly what you do, and we're not gonna bore you with the little stuff.
He did. He shared. I've gotten some good comments and remarks off that. So
yeah, it
went pretty good. That was something different. We're glad. And hopefully next week or the following week after, we're gonna have an attorney on a criminal defense attorney on.
Yeah. So like I said, the premise of this whole show is not just what we do as bondsmen, bounty hunter,
but a lot of stuff that's related to
related things, private investigator, and then anybody that has anything to do with the neighborhood of what we do,
right?
So
and plus it kind of gives you guys at home, gives you some stuff. If something happens to you or your family or friend or whatever, if you get a little bit of advice from us, hold on, let me call them guys. They might be able to help.
Some insight that you may not hear, about things.
Right.
So that's the point.
Man, all right. So did you see RFK going to town?
I did not. All I've heard is, he's did get like 5 or 6.
He's pushing, and he's pushing it for it to do fast, to fast track it, to get this crap out of our food. Because how come we have a big obesity rate?
Well, I heard it put best was we spend the most on medication. Just look at your channel at night or anytime, and how many drug commercials are on our TV. It used not to be that way, but we spend the most to medicate, and we're the sickest, most obese group on the planet.
Yeah. So what? I mean,
so it's got to come from our food.
It's got to be. I finally finally got a good eating habit now. I did the carnivore for a little while, but then I went to keto. I added in like vegetables. I think
that's the natural progression of people with carnivores, kind of a ketovore type way of eating.
And it doesn't upset my tummy or anything like that. So it's been working kind of nice.
Oh crap! Oh well, happens. Missed calls.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the food, for a while I've been, kind of slid back a little bit, but I'm still mainly ketovore-ish myself.
Yeah.
I feel my best on strict carnivore.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, summer's coming up. We gotta get our summer bodies, man. The best I can, anyway.
Yeah.
How about that one? All right. And another thing, I wanted to clarify for everybody at home about fake news, because it is fake as can be. I got on you get on social media and see these ads from all these news outlets, journalists, or whatever, and they're screaming about due process for illegal immigrants. Well, there's no due process for an illegal immigrant. Just kind of FYI there. It only pertains to U.S. citizens as due process. You're here illegally. You came into the country illegally. Our taxpayer dollars is not going to pay for your legal fees. And
that's just common sense. But apparently a lot of the United States is lacking in common sense.
Well, evidently. Well, I won't say most of it because most of America voted.
Well, yeah.
You know,
well, we'll say, yeah, a certain group of people.
Yeah, but the media.
Common sense. Now, they're book smart.
But the media is trying to push this narrative to get everybody to think, oh, and they're not even attorneys. They're just, just throwing shit out there.
Well, yeah, you can look at any of your social media, TikTok, and there's a lot of experts out
yeah,
there on topics.
They ain't
right?
expert. They expert because
everybody's just got their 2 cents they want to throw in and want to convince other people that their way is right.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's horrible, man.
I chalk this up to social media, making people extra riled up over topics.
Well, I think majority of America's kind of figuring it out now. I hope so.
Yeah, but still, where you get your news.
Yeah.
Do you get it from Facebook, TikTok? Do you get it from CNN? Do you get it from Fox?
Right.
You got to go somewhere to get your news.
Yep.
And that's where they build their following.
Well, I'll be glad when hey, Trump's doing a good job. He's getting it done. And
he's what I signed up for so far.
Yep. He's done everything that he ran on this stuff, guys. Like you're complaining about stuff he said he was going to do.
The whole chicken egg thing, that was Biden. Killed a whole bunch of chickens. It takes a while to grow them. Okay. We're getting back. If you hadn't noticed, egg prices are dropping.
Well, he's only been in office for what?
Yeah, but what
months.
they do, they go, well, he said that he was going to do that immediately. Well, he can't grow a chicken he's not God, all right? He can't grow a chicken any faster than they normally
do. Shit an egg for you.
Come on. I mean, be within reason,
Right.
But he does, he is the greatest and blah, blah, blah. He does do all that. So I'll give you all that. He needs to dial it back. A little humble would be good for the Trumpster.
Yeah.
But it'll never happen. But get what you take. I mean, hell, at least this guy's vertical and can walk and stay awake and do things. I mean,
I'm just glad. It's weird. It's his second term's a lot different than his first term. You can tell.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with the second term.
Well,
for sure.
Yeah, he went on recommendations for his cabinet the first time.
Yeah, and then they kind of screwed him.
Now he's like, okay, I want you. You've already been screened, pretty much.
And how about these judges getting arrested, bro?
Oh, I did see that. Yes, real good move, guys.
Yeah, don't hide illegal immigrants. That's a federal law. I mean, that's just the way it works.
I think they're above the law, I guess.
Well, nobody's above the law. That's what Pam Bondi said. And she's a bad woman.
She is pretty tough. I wish she would dial it back on her appearances on TV. She seems to want to be a TV star a bit too much for the position. Yeah.
Okay.
But
fair enough.
I like her. I mean, I'm going to shoot it straight, but either way that I see it.
Right.
I mean, she is tough, but she also promised. The Epstein list finally came out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I saw a list of
who's up there playing with little boys.
Oh, well, it's not as easy as saying that everybody on this list is
right.
The ones that are going to be carted off into prison,
Right.
So I have to wait. But yeah, I saw a list. I think it's the correct list. I don't know. Who knows?
Damn.
Who knows what you see?
I know, right?
But I imagine it will make news somewhere, possibly.
Well, we'll see.
If you don't see it on CNN, turn over to Fox. You might see it there.
Who knows? All right. Now, so today, story's a little different. We didn't capture this person. It's a PI case.
It's a PI case, yeah.
It's a skip tracing case. Something that I did, and it just got done yesterday, by the way. So I've been telling Chad about this, and Chad was like, man, this is going to be a great story. I'm like, yeah, I know. This is going to be great how we found her and the whole nine.
Yeah, we spent a little time. I got to help you a little bit on the social media side of looking. which, you can't have enough eyes when it goes to that,
Yeah. So, all right. Oh, hold on. We got to get into the story time. And here we go.
I can tell stories. Got too much to tell. I can tell stories. Got too much to tell.
All right. That's it. That's it. We don't want to get struck. All right.
Don't want riffraff coming at us.
Yeah. We don't want that.
Come on, Riff.
All right.
You'd like us.
So this story here, I got a phone call from an individual. It was referred to me by their attorney. Their attorney is a good friend of mine, Andy Snow.
Yeah.
Andrew Snow up in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And he calls me and he tells me a short story, make a long story short real quick.
Too late. Okay.
I know, right?
Keep going.
So the client, him and his wife separated. He wanted a divorce. I'm not going to go into details why. And they had a little girl together. That's like a little over a year old at the time when they separated. Well, when they separated, she's living in her apartment. Well, she calls. Well, before I go there,
dude.
He calls me.
People are waiting.
About a month ago, and says, "Hey, look, I need some help finding her. I can't find her.
Yeah,
and I don't know where my daughter's at, and I need to, I need to several papers." I said, "Okay, we'll work on it." So my investigation starts in Jacksonville. I look into her a little bit. I asked the client, what she like to do, what's the schedule like for the kid? Do you know, like little details that would kind of help me in the investigation.
Right. Any little thing that,
right.
You never
and
know.
actually,
you never know.
And one little piece of information has led me till yesterday too. So that's very important that you write everything down and listen. So I go up to Jacksonville, and she's a personal trainer.
Okay.
And she likes to be at a gym or a nutrition store or whatever. So
I know the type.
Yep. So I pull her information, I look it up, and I see her address is all wrong on it. And I'm like, yeah, it's, I'm going to have to put some feet on the ground. Go up there, I dress as a gym rat. I go into the gym that she used to work at, and I was just interested in the gym, blah, blah, blah. They had no idea who I was.
Right. They're trying to sell you a membership.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, well, I got a friend of mine that's on my social media that's a personal trainer. And she does some good, she gives some good advice on there. Does she still work here? And they were like, oh, who it is? I said, well, her name was, I don't know. I can't say, I'm not going to say her real name. Tina. Let's say Tina.
Tina the trainer.
Tina the trainer.
Yep.
So they're like, no, she ain't worked here in months. It's been a while. I don't know where she's at. I'm like, all right, cool. And so I dropped it, and I just kept on talking about the membership.
So that one's crossed off the list.
I did that on like a few gyms up there, and I got so many free. Here's a free month. I got so many of them. Right. So I noticed that Tina does post a lot for a place. That's a nutrition place. I'm not going to say the name, in Jacksonville.
So she either works there or got a sponsorship.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I go there and I walk in and I start asking about supplements and stuff like that. You're trying to get conversation going. Mm-hmm. Real nice lady. I wish I could say the name, but I'm not going to. Real nice lady. She got talking to me. Then I started bringing. I was like, yeah. I got a friend of mine. She advertises for you guys a lot up here. So did she get any, does she work here? Does she get any, kickbacks if I buy something from here or whatever? I'd like to help her out because she's gave me some good advice. No. She ain't been around in a while. She's not around. She's not living here at the moment. She's living out of town. I was like, okay, cool. That kind of, so I dropped it and kept on talking. And they gave me a free T-shirt.
Okay.
And I walk out. I got all this free shit in my truck. I'm like, all right, cool. This is I can work in the yard in this shirt, right?
Right.
So, the client told me that his ex was seen as Sneed's Ferry not too long ago. I was like, all right, let me go down to Sneads Ferry just to check things out.
For those of you who don't know, Sneads Ferry is right outside of Jacksonville, one of our military bases.
Yep.
Here in North
And
Carolina.
it's right between like Holly Ridge and it's right on the coast.
Yeah, it's
So I go to Sneads Ferry, and there's not much in Sneads Ferry. I was told that she likes coffee shops, nutrition shops. Well, guess what? There's a nutrition coffee shop in Sneads Ferry.
bingo. It's got
Bingo.
everything.
Got
I
everything.
would go there.
I go in there. It's like a military type style coffee shop. Pretty cool place. You got to check it out one day. So go in there and I don't even fake it this time. I'm like, all right, I don't think she's here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to talk to the girl at the desk. I'm like, hey, I tell her I say, look, I'm a private investigator. I'm here trying to get some information on a person you may know. And of course, they were young, and one of them's boyfriend was there. They were all curious, right?
Mm.
So I show them, and she goes, I'm friends with her on Instagram. I was like, ooh, can we take a look at your Instagram account? Absolutely. So we go sit at the table, and I'm like, I got my folders spread out. I'm taking notes galore.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm taking pictures of reels that she's doing. She's in the same gym.
Mm.
It's the same, and she just had posted them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm taking pictures of this so I can refer back,
Yeah.
you know. So I go back to my home office after I leave there. I look into her vehicle.
Okay, so you find a vehicle.
Yeah. I find out what vehicle she's driving,
Okay,
right?
got a make and model.
Got a make, model, license plate. And I didn't notice this till a little bit later, and we'll get to it. But so she had a North Carolina tag, and she had, and I ran it through our system to see if it's been seen.
This is
anywhere.
the one. This is the system that we have that basically there are trucks that will ride through parking lots that have built-in cameras into the grill, and like tow trucks. And what they do is they take pictures of plates. What they're getting is information. So it's date, time, location,
address
of where that car was spotted on that date, and it compiles that information. So if that plate's seen again in another location or the same wherever, it's another date. So it gives you a general idea of where a person is at.
Yep.
So you can start looking in a particular state, city. And that's how we found a guy.
Yeah.
One time, actually.
Down in Myrtle.
Yeah, he worked in Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, we risked a man.
We thought he was just eating lunch.
He was
'cause his
cooking
plate
Lord.
kept showing up at this address.
He was cooking the Lord's chicken, baby.
Yeah, had drugs on him too. Remember?
Yeah,
that?
yeah, he did.
Pulled him out. Yeah.
All right. So
Anyway.
I ran a license plate. And I noticed that when I was doing all this, I noticed that it expired at the end of January of this year. It expired.
Okay.
So when I ran the license plate, it's been sent 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I said, all right, pull it. So I pull it,
All in the same state.
and no. So
Okay.
I look at the first one. It shows it in an apartment complex in Jacksonville
Okay.
back in late October. All right. So come to find out, I called the client. I'm like, hey, did she live at these apartments? She goes, yes, it's the apartments we had that I moved out of. I was like, okay, cool. So I know that's, boom, that's where it's at. The next one I saw was like mid-November. It was down in South Carolina at a gas station. And I was like, why is this down in South Carolina at a gas station? You're trying to figure it out. And then the third one that's been seen at was at a gym in Mississippi. Guess who lives in Mississippi? Her grandparents.
Okay. I was going to say some relative boyfriend. Something.
Right. She's in a small town,
Mm-hmm.
Meridian. All right. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, all right, but her tags are expired. Why hasn't she gotten stopped or whatever? Well, I went and looked back and saw where she got a new license plate
So you got a Mississippi tag?
in Mississippi.
Ah.
So I was like, okay, I see what she's doing here. She's down there. So I contacted the client. I'm like, hey, look, I think I found her where she's at. I think she went back to her grandparents' house down in Meridian. And he said, okay. I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact an investigator that I know down there and get him to go look at some stuff. Okay, cool. So I call Mr. Barry, down in Mississippi. He lives right in there. It's a small little town, Meridian. So I call him and I'm sitting there talking to him, and he goes, "Hey man, stop. Is she a personal trainer? Works out real good, good looking girl?" I was like, "Yeah."
Apparently, she sticks out in this area.
Yeah. Dark. He goes, dark hair, tattoo. I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "What's her name?" And I told him Tina. And he goes, "I know exactly who you're talking about. She was at a cookout that I was at 2 weeks ago." I was like, "You're kidding me." He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Everybody was wondering who this new girl was that just showed up in town."
Is it in shape? Shows up.
In shape, yeah, shows up in town. And I said, "All right, cool." I said, "Well, let's get on the ball. Let's find her." I said, "I know she's I know she goes to this gym because I took the pictures that I took in Sneed's Ferry off the Instagram and matched them up with the gym pictures online."
Oh, the inside of the club.
The inside of the club.
Yeah.
And matched them up, and I knew that was her.
Right.
So that was the last time that North Carolina plate was seen.
Mm-hmm.
So she
now
had
you're chasing
switched
a Mississippi plate.
Now I'm chasing the Mississippi plate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he goes to he makes phone calls to all his friends. He goes to every gym, goes everywhere. Could not find this girl nowhere. She just like poof, disappeared
again.
And she doesn't know I'm looking for her.
Right.
She doesn't even know who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
So
did you say what this was all over?
It's over child custody. So what she did before she left, she got a DVPO order against him.
Explain that.
Through the Marine Corps. That's domestic violence protective order.
Okay.
She accused him of hitting her when they wanted a divorce.
Okay.
And this is one of them, like, she's a walking red flag, people. Don't, like, oh, I can go, that's a whole nother story. So she knew what she was doing. So I found out she left Jacksonville because she knew her DVPO order was coming up. Left Jacksonville. She was getting child support through the Corps, Marine Corps, that was given to her. She left and went to Mississippi. Now, she's down there. My guy, Mr. Barry, can't find her. He's like, "Dude, I think she's gone." I was like, "How the fuck did she leave? Why?" I'm like, "She ain't got nowhere to go." I'm like, and so it kind of come to a standstill. So I got her new Mississippi plate being monitored through the system. If it's been seen anywhere, it'll alert me, let me know.
Okay, so you're searching across the United States?
I'm searching across the entire United States.
Okay, yeah.
So the client calls me about a week later and goes, "Hey, man, she gave me an address to send something last year when I knew she was here, and look into it for me." I'm like, "All right, cool, I'll look into it."
Wish I would have had this information earlier.
Yeah. So he gives me this address. It's right outside of Riverside, which is not far from L.A.
California.
I called a buddy of mine, Mr. Alan Horner.
Alan, what's up?
Alan, what's up, buddy? Thank you very much. You've been awesome.
You're killing it out there in
Yes,
California. We watch you every day.
So he's a bondsman and private investigator. In California.
He's everything. Yeah.
So I called him. I go, "Hey, man," I said, "will you do me a favor?" I said, "How far is this address from me?" He said, "Man, it's 30 minutes, and I'm working a case in San Diego right now." He goes, "I'll swing by, man, just to see if the car's there for you." I said, "Okay, cool." Well, he goes by the house, and lo and behold,
he sent you a picture of the back of the
he sent me a picture
Mississippi tag.
of Mississippi tag on this certain vehicle. Now,
man, that's
she's
a great
there.
feeling. Great feeling.
It is a great feeling.
'Cause
She
she
drove
feels-
all the way from Mississippi to.
Because you don't feel no more comfortable than being across the country with a different tag.
Right.
She is comfy.
Well, here's how we found out that she was in California. The client calls the cops down in Meridian, Mississippi, and wants to do a wellness check.
Okay.
They go by grandparents' house, and Grandpa, he don't really got a dog in the fight. He's like, "Man, she got mad at us, packed her crap up, and left and went to California."
Boyfriend.
Yeah. So my client was like, "Hey," calls and tells me this. And he goes, "Go check out, look at that address." I'm like, "Okay." Well, this dude that she's shacking up with is in the Marine Corps out there. So you get what I'm saying? You get what
I get what you're throwing down.
There you go. All right. So now here comes the hard part. We spent all week trying to pin her down, there in California. I said, "Okay, Alan," I said, "go ahead and start doing surveillance. Do what you got to do. Get this paperwork to her. Cool. So Alan goes, sits out there. Her car doesn't move. She's not going to come to the door. We know that for a fact. She's avoided multiple times. So they're sitting watching for, a few hours at a time.
When you got to dress up like the flower guy.
Well, I'm getting there to you.
Delivery.
Yeah. All right. So they're watching it. They pull off because, we're not trying to milk, you put a whole lot of hours in this. That can be a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, just, spot check it, and sit, whatever you need to do. Well, the other time she's never there. And it's a big place. So they be in and out all week looking for it. They see her car, stop. It's getting late. She ain't doing nothing, so they leave. This past Saturday, she's not been seen for a couple of days at that address. And Alan was like, man, I said, what's the game plan? He said, we're going to try one more day. I was like, okay. I was like, cool. So about 2:00 California time yesterday. So it's what, 3, 4, 5? It's 5:00 here.
5, 6.
Yeah, somewhere there. 5:00 here. I'm sitting there at the table watching a buddy of mine. They're playing with his band, and I get a text from Alan, and it's a video of them serving her.
Oh,
yes, she's in the back seat, like doing something with the car seat, whatever. Dude comes walking up as an Amazon guy. He's got a he's got a vest on.
Good one, guys.
He's got a vest on, and he comes up. He's got an Amazon box and everything. He goes, hey, Tina, and she goes, yeah. He goes, you have been served, ma'am. Now here's the kicker. Because she's avoided service and took off like she has, and all the evidence I've got showing her going to California, with everything, the judge signed a motion for her to show up and bring the child on the 30th to North Carolina.
Now we're getting toward criminal if she don't comply.
If she doesn't show up, she will get an arrest warrant put out for her, and it's gonna get nasty for her. She's gonna get kidnapped, and she'll be able.
This will be interesting to see if she complies.
Yes,
this is a stay tuned. There's more to come.
Yes, stay tuned, because if she does show up, of course I have to go to court and I'm gonna have to testify about what I found. But I think that right there in itself is just like a bounty case almost.
Yeah.
Except you're not how to
not
grab
actually
somebody.
physically putting hands on somebody. Yeah.
But it just shows you how much work goes into something like this, and it just shows you how women nowadays, not all women, I'm not saying all women, but majority of women are like that. Get a DVPO order because they're the first ones to call, and next you know that the dad can't have any contact with the children. Can't see him, and then they're just kind of let on, and she's still getting child support out of them. So she's like, I got you. It's horrible. Well, why would you take a parent away from their child?
Yeah.
It happens all the time. And I'm just glad that, we can see something nowadays like this happen to where, justice is actually going to be served.
Yeah. That's we're going to have a follow-up story on this.
Yeah, man. I'm ready. I'll let you know next. I'll let you guys know next week what happens.
Yeah. Whatever story we're telling, we'll do an additional portion of this, see what happened, because that's cool stuff. Yeah, man.
I tell you what, it was frustrating because it lasted a month. It just lasted a month because you're trying to figure out things. You're not trying to waste the client's time neither, because you're billing them for an hour.
Yeah, and it's you got to explain to them, I spent this much hours on this, and this is what I'm doing. I'm not just fooling around taking your money.
And the whole time, like last week when we're doing surveillance, every day I was giving them updates. Hey, look, they did surveillance today.
Yeah,
nothing's come out. I'm like, I'm just letting you know, just kind of so you won't be surprised when
Yeah,
just it's transparency, man. Just you got to be straight up with your clients. You can't lie to them. You can't, feed them a line of bullshit. It doesn't work out great for you in the end. But
Well, cool stuff, man. Good job.
yeah, man, it's
Good job, Alan.
yes, Alan. Thank you again very much, and I'll make sure you you know that we gave you a big ups for this one.
Alan, we're still ready for that portion in the show, dude. You know, that was like the one that we lost.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because, you know, just saying, man, we got it. We can add to that.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Well, that's the story of Tina, the trainer. Tina the trainer. Yeah,
that works.
Tina the trainer.
Yeah.
Man, you ought to see it. I wish I could show you guys the video, but it's so funny. She was like, "Huh?" It was hilarious.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
She did not. I mean, she even scraped the stickers off the back of her window
Yeah, to identify her car.
to not identify her
Yeah.
car. But what she did, the dumbest thing she did, because she was in the Marine Corps, but she got kicked out, is the new Mississippi license plate had a big Marine Corps stamp on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I'm like, well, you just gave yourself away, damn dumb.
Is that like a special plate or did?
Yeah, it's a special plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's special.
Well, I mean, I guess she thought there were others like it. You know,
Wow.
what kind of car was it?
It's a SUV, a white SUV.
Okay. Well,
But it's kind of
fairly common, right?
I'm not going to say the make and model, but
Yeah.
the make and model is a little different than a normal white SUV.
Still white SUV.
But you can recognize it.
Yeah.
You can
Oh
recognize it.
well, wasn't enough to.
So
go
now
and
the
sing.
client's happy. The client was so excited. He was like, "I'm calling to tell my parents, thank you so much. You've helped me out so much. You're going to help me get to see my child."
A nice Google rating would go.
Yeah, I
a long way
know,
too,
right? That would go absolutely long way.
Speaking of that, you know, you guys want to go on Google and do an off the hook one?
Yeah, we love them. Go to Off the Hook.
And I Google us and
Yes.
check us out. Say you know you like the show or something. Also, I can say I have my website for the Off the Hook gear.
Yes.
So you can check us out and see what all we've got to offer on that. It's offthehookgear.shop. And I'm still messing with the site, but there is pictures of everything up there. See anything you like, we can ship it to you.
Go up there. I'm proud of you, Chad, for doing this, man. This is awesome. I've been watching you over there, like scratching your head,
Oh, trying to do
about
that
to throw
site.
the computer out the front door.
Yeah, I'm still frustrated about something, you know, I'm focusing on right now, but I've gotten it little by little. But yeah, you can navigate through it. It's not the best site. I've seen much better, in my opinion. I'm very critical, but everything's on there, and anything you want, or send us a message on there. I'll get it to you.
Right on. Yeah. Beautiful shirts, hats.
Oh yeah, we had a sale at the clubhouse. They have like 2 vendors from the neighborhood. We were chosen, and I was only there for 2 hours, and I sold like over $700 worth of stuff, shirts, hats, and like people were liking it. So
I like it. I got
quite a
like
few.
I got a few shirts and a few
I gotta
hats.
get you those 2 back.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Yeah. So this is actually a worn.
This
one.
is an old one I had made like years ago.
Oh, that was one of our. I wear that to the gym. That was like our fugitive recovery shirts.
Man, these things they're comfortable.
Yeah, I wear those. Not my everyday thing. You know, once you go to the gym a few times in the shirt, it's never the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you sweat, you know, you can't ever completely get it out. I wouldn't like wear it out in public. It becomes a gym shirt.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Anyway,
Like
so,
my yard working shirt.
yeah, same thing, same principle. Yeah.
Well, guys, we thank you for tuning in. If you like what you hear, you can check us out on YouTube at Off the Hook Bell Bonding Podcast. If you like what you see and you want to hear us and you're in the vehicle, want to ride around, look us up. We're on Apple Podcast, Spotify, all the major ones. But until then, I'm Rob.
I'm Chad.
And
Peace
we'll
out.
talk to you later.
You've been listening to Off the Hook with Chad and Rob. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And be sure to follow us for notifications for another exciting episode. But in the meantime, you can go to our website at www.offthehookbail.com to see more. So until next time, stay out of trouble, or it'll be you that needs to get off the hook. See you soon.